Hey guys, and welcome to my channel and welcome to this video. Today I will be painting in this Altenew watercoloring book, and there are quite beautiful sketches in there. There is actually 12 designs, and every design has his light sketch in gray and a little bit darker sketch in black. So it is 24 sheets of paper, 12 different designs. This one is 50% cotton. It is called pressed watercolor paper, and when I hold it, it's quite heavy watercolor paper. I really do like it, and for today I decided to do two of those. Two same ones. One will be a little bit looser and one will be a little bit tighter, and the one that is going to be tighter I'm going to do on gray sketch, and one that is going to be a little bit looser, it will look at the end like it's done by ink and watercolor, will be on this darker sketch. Also, of course, if you don't have this watercolor book, you can just pre-sketch any flowers you like and then paint over it. But if you're interested, this is quite fun. I think this would be quite fun for these designs for cards, for making cards, very simple and quick cards. So definitely something you might look into. I think the paper is very good. I will try it, and when I do try it, I will let you know what I think about it. Also, I will be using watercolors, again, same from Altenew. This is set of 24 watercolors. I will be using those, and probably for some tighter sketch I will also be using these brushes. Those are a little bit detail brushes, small detail brushes. I will also give them a try. So I do have a few new supplies from Altenew, and I did wanted to give it a try in this video, so why not? And I guess of course we will be needing some water, and I guess that's basically it. Maybe I will be also using some metallics. I will see that later on. I'm not even sure if I'm gonna do that, but you know, without further ado, let's get started. Well, I got those two out of my book because I think it's gonna be easier for me to paint it like that. So I will start with one that it's gonna be a little bit looser, and I'll probably use the same colors, maybe just with a little twist. I'll see that later on. So for the first one, for the looser one, I will start, and I will be using for this one a little bit larger brush, and for the other tighter one I'll be using those detail brushes. First I will pre-wet the paper, and I will just splatter some of the clean water here and there, just splattering. I will be starting with the red cosmos, this color, and I will put it here. Very beautiful color. And to that red cosmos I will be adding this one is called cool summer night. So I'm gonna mix those two to get a beautiful violet color. Oh, I went overboard with that one, so I'm gonna add just a little bit more of that pink, like that, and I will just slightly tone that one down, or just make it slightly warmer with this yellow. And this one is called Summer Afternoon, so I will have to learn the names. So I will start again. This one is a looser one, so I will just start with the splatters again here and there. Oh, this is very nice. I like that. So now that I did add splatters, I will also add just here in some places a little bit where I think that shadows are gonna be. I'm gonna add a little bit more of the pigment, and for this you can use maybe a little bit smaller brush, but that's just up to you. So like that, just slightly spread it around a little bit more, like that. I'm just looking where those darker parts are gonna be to add that, and I'm gonna do every single petal. I'm not gonna paint every single petal. I will try to avoid that. Oh, I like this so far. Maybe just a bit here, you know, where the also shadow would be, like this. I'm gonna do the entire that. There you go. Now I will pick up, well, I just, when I was doing the swatching, I just completely fell in love with this color. This one is called Tropical Forest. So I do have my swatches here. So I'll place them up there. So the second one. And I just fell in love with this color, Tropical Forest. So I will place it here. It's very beautiful. And just tone it down just slightly. But this one is called Coffee Break. Yeah, I could use that, Coffee Break. And just mix it in just to make it slightly, you know, lighter. There you go. And now we have here those splatters that we did. So the paint is going to bleed outside the borders, and that's the point. That's the reason why we did those splatters. The paint bleed a little bit outside the borders. Just to paint in again, pick up that green, mix it in with a little bit of Coffee Break. So a couple of leaves are also here, and for those I'm going to use a little bit more of that Coffee Break. And pick up a little bit of those colors again. Just do a couple of splatters here and there. It's very nice when you have, you know, that sketch. You don't have to worry about your sketch. So I'm gonna get a little bit of the green. This time is going to be this green meadow, and mix it in here just to get a slightly different shade, and just add it to my leaves just to make it a little bit more interesting, nicer. To add that second color here, that variation. And you can add, I will add like this. That's very nice. Before I dry it, I will pick up a little bit more of that Coffee Break. And I will just place it here in the center. Like that. A little bit more. So who says the watercoloring book has to be from one border to another? Definitely not. You can paint loosely in these also. Just some more splatters. Like that. So we will dry that and we will continue. So this is now dry, and I must say I really do like this paper. I did add a lot of water to it, and it just barely warped. Very, very thick. So definitely something I could recommend. This watercoloring book and this papers. Of course, you can use the back side also. So very, very good paper. It is not 100% cotton. It is 50% cotton, but still very, very nice. So now I will just add a little bit more of the details. I was using a lot of water, so some details got lost in all of that water. So I will just add here and there a little shadows on my leaves, and also on my flower. So first with the leaves, just a couple of lines. I will also pick up this. Well, I could give a shot to this detail brush from Altenew. So let's give it a try. See how it works. So picking up that again, Coffee Break brown, and I'm gonna do just a light line here on the side for the stem. Maybe also some here. Well, it does work with those details. It is a detail brush after all, right? So just a couple of dots here to make this one also a little bit, and maybe add just a little bit of that brown while the paint is still wet. That green is still wet, just maybe a little bit of the brown here. So this is super fun and relaxing actually, like that. So this is it for the leaves, and I will just pick up a little bit of that mix. This was, I said, Red Cosmos. I also got a little bit of this, no, not Starry Night, but this is a Cool Summer Night. So mixing those two in. Very beautiful color. And I will just add that here where I wanted my shadows the most. And you can just get second brush maybe at the same time, just to, you know, to help yourself work a little bit quicker. So I'm gonna just spread that. We have here some darker pigment, and again a little bit of the water, like that. Spread it here, some here, darker. I love this. So here just nears to the center again, a little bit of the and this one also, and I will add here also a little bit on the side. Why not, right? And some of the a little bit more details up here, like that. It will stay loose still, just a little bit more interesting, like that. So, and also this one will be, this part will be slightly darker, maybe add some textures on the edges here. So maybe I would want to have this guide. Maybe there is a guide on how to paint those, so that you don't have to do it from your head. But you know, and maybe even it's a better thing that you need to do it from your head, because this will be a nice practice, like that. So maybe just a little bit here again, just a couple of places where I do want it even darker, like that. So I do love to glaze on top with the yellow, so I will be using this Summer Afternoon Yellow, and it just gives this beautiful glaze on top. So just give it a try if it's not too much, just to brighten it, brighten everything up. With that and a little bit of that yellow one more, just on top, like that. So a little bit more of the splatters while the paint is still wet. I do need a little bit more of the definition to my to that lower part, to where the flowers are, where the leaves are. So I will add a little bit more of the color to those. And I think I like that. So very simple, even if you're not a person who can sketch. Well, I guess there is a way for you to do something. And I will just pick up a little bit of that, as I said earlier, a little bit of that metallic. This is gold, I guess. Pick up a little bit of that metallic. Actually, a lot of that metallic gold, and I'm just gonna splatter it slightly around, so when this dries it will just give one more dimension, maybe some shine to our flower. If you don't have a metallic, you know, don't worry about that. It's not something that it's necessary. There you go. I will just add it here, maybe in the center, like that. And just a couple of droplets here and there, just to make that shine a little. That's the first one, the loose one, done. Now we will move on to our a little bit tighter one. I will put this one aside. First I will pre-wet, and I will start with one petal. I definitely do like this paper. And then just add those colors that I did mix earlier. This time I'm gonna get a little bit more of the pink. Quite amount actually of that pink, and start from the center. Wow! I got surprised now. This one really bleeds very beautifully. Not sure if it's the colors or if it's the paper, but it just goes up very beautifully. Goes up very beautifully, and I will just with this a little bit bigger brush go upwards and just spread slightly that paint. I admit, when I was doing my swatching, I did notice that that one has a very beautiful bleed. Just bleeds very beautifully, so I kind of did look forward to painting with that one. A little bit of the yellow. You know, I'm thinking maybe I would just, for this one, get this. This is called Fairy Sunset. So I do need a little bit cleaner, maybe more yellow surface. So like that. And I will get that yellowish pigment here on the upper part. I also wanted to say that these pigments are very beautiful and vibrant, and you just need just a little bit of the paint to get a beautiful vibrant saturated color. So I do actually really love those, and I do love the selection of colors. It's maybe just a little bit different, and I do find it to be quite a great selection of colors for spring and spring paintings. A lot of reds, pinks, and greens, and I actually haven't seen a palette with so many greens in 24 pans, so that is definitely something you should have in mind if you decide to maybe get those colors. While this is drying, I will pick up some of the green again. Green, a little bit of that green, and I will just add a little bit of brown into that green. Like that, so Again, I will privet that leaf. I did have a little bit paint left in there, so doesn't matter. For the second one, so if you want to add a little bit more of the darker color to that, I will pick up a little bit of that brown again, just mix in slightly and just add on the bottom part. And this time I'm gonna paint again in that green. But I will add a little bit more of the greenish, real green. That. Like that. And who says we can't do a couple of grasses here also? I believe this is all now dry, so I will just again privet this petal. Pick up that beautiful pink. I really want it to be very, very light. And as you can see, I'm just repeating the process with all the petals, just privetting the paper or the petal is adding on the bottom quite saturated pigment, mix of that beautiful pink and blue, and then on the upper part adding just a little bit of the yellow to make it look more vibrant, more, I guess, shiny looking. And then with this detail brush, I'm adding in an upper line just to make a distinction between the petals. And afterwards, just moving to those little leaves just beneath the flower that we did paint also in our little bit looser painting. And for that, I have been using just the same colors as I did for the previous painting. And those are, and I must say, I do really love that color. That's one of my favorite greens by now. This is, I think, a tropical forest, and I'm using a little bit of that tropical forest to paint in the leaves, adding just a little bit of the coffee break to it to make it a little bit less saturated, and then painting in also the lower part of the petals. And to that I did add just a little bit more of the blue, a little bit more of that cool summer night color to my pink, or actually this one is Red Cosmos. So in this mix there is just a little bit more of the cool summer night and a little bit less of that Red Cosmos to get a little bit more of violet color, to get a little bit more darker color, and just adding a little bit more of the details here and there, some yellow, and again some details to my leaves. I decided just to add a couple of veins with that coffee break color and just connect my leaves to the main stem, and that's basically it. I'm not going to be adding a lot of details there, just a couple. Just adding in some lines, just connecting those leaves. And now I will just add also the center of the flower using that same coffee break, darker brown, but this time I picked up quite a lot of pigment because I do want that part to be a little bit darker. And there you go, I have this little bleed onto my petal, but if that doesn't bother you, you can just, if it happens to you, you can just leave it there, but I will pick it up. I do want it to be a little bit more cleaner. And I did smudge that upper part of the center, going just a little bit upwards with a little bit of the yellow, because I do want that upper part of the center to be just a little bit lighter. And then some details to the stem. And now I just did wanted to add on a few places a little bit more of the distinction, but now that my color is almost dry on the flowers, I did wanted to add just a little bit more of the distinction between the petals. So I'm using this small detail brush. And you know what I love about these synthetic detail brushes is that they are quite stiff. So they also snap back when you pick them up. And when I do use them to add lines, I do love them because I can just go with the tip of my brush, add a very, very thin line and just press it just a little bit harder and get a little bit more thicker line. So you can see on those lines, on the flowers, on the petals, how some parts are a little bit darker and just gives a little bit more believability. It does look like maybe the play of some shadows and colors. So now I've sprinkled some gold, and well, same thing as I did on the first painting, just to add a little bit more of the shine. If you don't have the gold, you can definitely use the yellow as earlier. And with that, I'm finished. I do love how it turned out. I do love how these colors are actually very vibrant. I'm surprised also with the paper. This is 50% cotton watercolor paper. I have to admit, I usually use cotton or cellulose watercolor paper, not really a lot of mixes, and I do love this. This one is definitely something to think about. The paper, I'm not sure if Altenew has only the papers. If they don't, well, I do definitely recommend them to sell those papers only as a clean paper also. But I do love also these blocks, because a lot of you have been saying to me, you know, I don't know how to draw, I don't know how to sketch. So these are just perfect, super fun to paint on, and also get gorgeous cards at the end. You can do them as a first painting, quite loose, not even trying to paint petals, and it can turn out really beautiful, or you can do it as a second one, just a little bit more tighter. And guys, well, I guess thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you like it. Maybe you'll give something similar a try. And if you do like it, please hit the like button, share it, and comment. If you haven't still, please do subscribe to my channel. That will mean a lot to me. And well, as I said, links for all of the products that I use here are down in the description box, so you might want to check them out. And again, thank you so much for watching. I hope I'll see you next time. Bye!